-1. I'm calling you out, -1. -1 in the chat. You better in the chat because your cab has finally came. You've been asking for Dig Dug forever, and it looks like Arcade1Up is finally going to do a Dig Dug and a Joust. We're going to talk a little bit about those cabinets here. Good morning to you if you're just waking up in the morning like myself and checking out this news. Let's take a look at this Dig Dug. We're going to break it down. I'm going to show you some things that gets me really excited about this cab. And I know this is just a Pac-Man underneath it. And you know how much I love Pac-Man. And I promised myself I wouldn't buy another one. But are they going to get me to buy another Pac-Man by dressing it up as a Dig Dug? Let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to jump right into one of my favorite things about the pictures that are coming in on this Dig Dug. There's the Joust. Let me run through these pictures here. So this is an original Joust. This is the Arcade1Up version. Now, this is the Mortal Kombat reskinned. Good morning to everyone. See, Andrew, he's like, Dig Dug, what? What? So comment down below or in the live chat. What do you guys think about these new cab announcements? I guess they technically are available on this website, Shop Hippo. It says pre-order now, so I'm guessing we're going to see an official announcement from Arcade1Up. I'm going to talk about what mistakes Arcade1Up is, in my opinion, is making on these new releases. Not harsh stuff, but one thing I would have liked to have seen different. But anyway, take a look at this Joust here. This is interesting how they got the buttons. This is a Mortal Kombat reskinned. It's Mortal Kombat reskin. And you have the action button right there where you flap. I think it's kind of clever. Like, for some reason, you know, in my head, I'm like, this is not as bad as the Defender. I think the reason why is because I know somebody that's really excited about Joust. I have a brother-in-law. He just loves Joust. He comes over, he's playing Joust. He gets really high scores. And he's like, oh, man, if they ever came out with the Joust, I would probably get it. And they did. They did. Now, what for him, you know, he would want the marquee title to be Joust. So, you know, this would probably be for the cab for him. You know, it's live. But the Joust doesn't interest me as much as the Dig Dug. So I'd like to talk about that. Okay, so we got the Dig Dug here. Let's take a look at the pictures for that. So on Shop Hippo, $449. Why it's $50 less than the Arcade1Up prices? Like, we already have the Pac-Mania. The Pac-Mania is $500. Am I right? Isn't it $500? Like, you go to the Arcade1Up's website, you can pre-order the Pac-Mania. Yeah, it's $499, and we anticipate other retailers, you know, like Best Buy. I assume Best Buy US or someone else, they're going to be carrying this one for that $500 price as well. But here we are already seeing from this this Shop Hippo that they got some for $449. Okay, so here's the, you know, like an original Dig Dug arcade, and I there was one available at auction. Now, it must have gone for like, I think it was like $600. I want to say, pristine condition. I don't know why. Maybe it was $800. I stopped bidding on it at some point. I'd already won like another cabinet. I think I just got Zaxxon for $400. So I was like, I'm not really sure if I should be buying multiples. But that was also the day I ended up getting Road Blasters for $300, which I then sold to Ralph, and he's been doing coverage on it, and he's fixing it all up. But Dig Dug, this is a cabinet that's near and dear to me. And the reason why is because, you know, when I was a kid, I was at the hospital with my brother a lot. He was having open heart surgery. And Dig Dug was one of the cabinets that was there that kept all us kids occupied and not thinking about negative things. And it was that day that made me realize that video games are a great way to kind of escape. And kind of if you're worried or have anxiety, like it's a great way to do it. You know, don't abuse it, but you can use it and it can help you out. Dig Dug was a game I love playing. My daughter loves Dig Dug as well. This is just Pac-Man reskin, but let's take a look at the Arcade1Up version of the Dig Dug. Where's that at? Let's see. I got too many tabs up here. So that's that one. Here's Centipede. Notice how the Centipede looks really cool. But now, let's see. There's Joust. There we go. check out this Dig Dug here. Volcano buttons. Come on. They put the volcano buttons on the Dig Dug. It looks so good. And then you got the artwork on the side. It looks great. You know, it's the classic Dig Dug look. The only thing that causes me a little bit of pause is the, you know, where they had to put, it's like this double riser that they're doing. But again, this is just basically the Pac-Mania reskin. But that's, in my opinion, like immediately when I saw this, I was like, that should have been the announcement from Arcade1Up all along. Like, instead of Arcade1Up announcing, what was it when they announced the pre-orders for this lineup, we were like, oh, Pac-Mania, it looks great, but it's another Pac-Man. Imagine if that was Dig Dug. I think that would have been so much more exciting to be like, finally, Dig Dug gets a prominent position like it should be. It gets a title release from Arcade1Up with volcano buttons, but here it is. It looks like it for their summer releases, we end up getting Dig Dug, and I really got to stop talking about it, because if I continue to talk about it, I'm gonna order. Okay, fine, I'm gonna get it out. Like, literally, the thoughts that I've had this morning are like, do I really need the class of 1981? Like, I like the class of 1981, but I would way more prefer a Dig Dug cabinet. And then literally I'm like, well, there is that Dig Dug that's in my area. I don't know if it's in Kansas City now. I don't know if it's in Omaha or Minnesota or Chicago, but typically we'll see some of those cabinets on rotation at the auctions. So do I wait for a full-size version of a Dig Dug? Would I want to own a big Dig Dug or just an Arcade1Up Dig Dug? And okay, so take a look at the control panel here. Like, it just calls out to me. All those people years ago, they would comment on the video, on my videos, and they say, why can't we get a Dig Dug? And here's what I'm saying. Like, this version of the Dig Dug, I really like it. Now, it's not perfect, right? It's not, let's see, this is, but I think this is good enough. Like the original Dig Dug, it's real top heavy. It's real big at the top, right? It's a pretty large cabinet, actually, right? And this, the Arcade1Up version, I don't really know how they could get that more accurate, you know, because it would have to come forward so much more. And maybe they could, but we've seen on other cabinets where they try to do that and it actually blocks the view, and just because it's smaller and the screen size that they're doing. But where my eyes are starting to focus is right into that control panel, that artwork on the front, that custom shape. And it looks like Arcade1Up is doing something right where this is their, I don't know, we've lost count, 7th generation of cabinets. I don't really know what generation we're at anymore. But see, the Lewis Chambers is like, just get it. No. Okay, hold on. But here's what I'm saying, right? We got the coin door, that's a plus. We got the volcano buttons, that's a plus, right? Dig Dug, beautiful artwork on the side, that's a plus. How many cabinets in your game room, in your arcade, are white? That's one of the things that was drawing me to the Pac-Mania. It's like, you know, all the other cabinets are a little bit dark and more colorful, but like more of a lighter skinned color, you know, like, and make it pop, right? And then you got this control panel that's got the yellows in it, it's got the volcano buttons. And then the game lineup. Now, here's the thing. A lot of us probably already have like a Galaga cabinet or a Pac-Man Plus. But if you don't, this is the one to consider, I think. You got Dig Dug, Pac-Man, you got Galaga, a couple other ones, Mappy Rompers, and Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder is actually a pretty fun game. But you have it in this form factor. The diversity in your cabinet, this is a good question. So Bond 008, he says, but what's the monitor like? So if you don't know, we've been talking about this for a while. We were highly disappointed in Arcade1Up when they came out with the Golden Tee edition. There's a couple of videos on there. 19K Fox has a repair video that he did. You can check that out, show how you can replace the Golden Tee 19-inch monitor with a Dell one. And there's the 1917S model. If you completely unscrew it all the way, you'll have exactly the same power connectors that are the power, and the LVDS on that Dell monitor is the same as the Arcade1Up. Like in some cases, it is a BOE monitor as well, the high-end BOE monitor with great viewing angles. So it's a drop-in replacement. You just got to keep on unscrewing it and be careful, and you can replace it. And now we're seeing on the Mortal Kombat, like we saw the pictures of the screen, and it looks like the quality of the screen is not as good. So it's very clear to us that they've gone back to a TN monitor. And so the question is, what is it going to be? What are the monitors like on these other versions as well? Now, the one thing that I would have to hope is that the 17-inch Dig Dug, because it's this like vertical screen, that's going to be a really hard one for them to do a TN monitor on at even the lower quality that we're seeing among the TN monitors on the Golden Tee. Like the Golden Tee has the lowest spec we've seen on anything in home arcade. If you want more information on it, the Real Smiling Better, Sean Watson, did a very detailed video on it showing that the Golden Tee monitor does objectively have the worst viewing angles from any home arcade monitor, including iArcade, including Gen 1. It's worse than all of them. The viewing angles are bad. It would be incredibly bad for them to have that quality monitor on these vertical cabinets, because the worst viewing angle is from the bottom, and on these cabinets, bottom is on the right-hand side, right? Because it's a monitor that's meant to be, wide, and the 4x3 has been flipped this way, or 5x4, whatever, and there you go. It's going to look really bad, even worse than Gen 1. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Someone else is gonna have to be the person that buys it. Dig Dug is not a cabinet that it's calling to me right now. And I gotta be selective. And I want to share that with you. But it's a really good point. That is it pulls me back, right? And P-Dubs is saying Qbert is being held hostage. Free Qbert. Now, that's the thing. When they're coming out with the Dig Dug, that's an interesting thing, because in my head, Dig Dug and Qbert are right in that same kind of generation of arcade games in nostalgia, right? There's going to be, like, if I know that P-Dubs is a big fan of Qbert. I'm not so much. But if I put myself in his shoes with Dig Dug, I feel it. I feel it, brother, right? Like, again, Dig Dug has that emotional attachment to me. The game is not that great. Do I play it a lot? No, I have it in multiple forms. The first time I played it more recently was when I modded my Arcade1Up Pac-Man to a 16:1, and I played Dig Dug, and I was like, that's right, it's a good game. My daughter started playing it. She's like, this is a good game. She just wouldn't stop playing it. She thought it was so much fun, this idea that you could pump up your enemies, and you're kind of running from them, and you're trying to chase after them before they leave the game. And simple game, a lot of fun, right? But again, it's one of those cabinets where, if I've told you before, I'm kind of wanting to recreate either with Arcade1Up or the full-size cabinets that I have, those original cabinets that I played when I was, we visited the Ronald McDonald House in Houston multiple times because of my brother's heart surgery, and they had a Nintendo there. We played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out a lot, but then they had a pinball machine, which I don't remember what the pinball machine is. I don't know why, I can't remember, but they had a Dig Dug there. And they had a Zaxxon, and I own a full-size Zaxxon, and it really does, it means a lot to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like that, I don't know if it's nostalgia or it's this emotional connection where I'm like, yeah, I own that game. It's almost like a good memory. It represents a good memory, despite whether the game is great or not. And Dig Dug is one of those for me, and I think Qbert is that for Patrick and for a lot of people out there as well. And so I get that. And maybe that's what's great about Arcade1Up doing all these variety of skins, is because, sure, you already have Dig Dug on a Pac-Man machine or a Miss Pac-Man machine, but it's going to pull on someone else's heartstring as being the title, because sometimes it's beyond the game. It's beyond actually playing the game, whether it's good or not. It's that feeling. It's that nostalgia. and what it means to you. Dig Dug might have in the loft despite owning Class of 1981 and games overlapping. We've got problems. Yeah, I know, right? Like, that's a tough one. What's going on, Mike of All Trades? Good morning, my dude. It's good to hear from you. But Matthew, the game hoser, he's saying he's waiting for Rompers. Now, to me, like, Rompers doesn't have a connection to me at all, but I get that. I get the feeling, the sentiment, the idea, the thought that a game can pull you in, the game can, attract you. You get the title, and it speaks to you. But do these cabs speak to you? We got Joust. We have Dig Dug. I wanna talk a little bit about Joust for a second here. One thing that I like that they did is that button layout. Again, I was talking about before where it's like with Defender, when they came out with the reskin Defender, I was just like, what? What is this? It's just, and it was because that particular game, as in the past, it's been a frustration for Arcade1Up fans, I should say. A sense of frustration when Rampage came out. I remember Rampage came out. I picked up the cabinet. I was kind of collecting them. Everyone's going crazy about Defender. It's like, oh, I can't get to that button because it's blocked by the second player joystick, and you gotta have. You go look at the Defender control panel, and it has a very specific layout, right? And they didn't get it right, and we're still waiting for them to come out with a good, 3/4 in or 3/4 cabinet, or maybe an XL, maybe a Pro, where they give Defender justice. But with Joust, it's just this flap, right? It's the main title, and the idea that they're like, hey, we got a lot of yellow, we got a lot of blue. And that's in the original Joust, right? You take a look at the original Joust, you got all this yellow, you got all this blue, right? And you got the ball top joysticks. You come over to the Arcade1Up version, and they're like, oh, you want the MK? We're going to take the Mortal Kombat. This is the Mortal Kombat cab, see? Right? But we're not going to put the ball tops on it. I'm sorry, we're not going to put the bat tops on it because we can't, because this is Joust. You see, this is Joust. So we're putting the ball tops on it like the original. And then we will put yellow buttons on there so they blend in. You see, they're blending in with the artwork. And then there's your flap. Look, you have a Joust cabinet. And the blue doesn't look like it blends in as well. We'll see what it's like when we see some real pictures. But, they did well in this artwork. Like, look, it blends in. And they're like, okay, there's a red button, right? You go over here. I can't really see, and I don't recall what the original Joust looked like. But you can see, from afar, it kind of blends in. And that immediately was like, oh, that's nice, right? The other thing that's nice, if you look at these versions of the Joust, they just kind of have this black trim, and maybe there's a different one. I was kind of this is, I think, I'm not sure if this computer generated, but it looks like that kind of Williams era cabinet. A beautiful artwork on the side. Defender is like that as well. You go over to this one, they got the artwork right, but they went with yellow trim. And it really pops, actually. I think it pops really well. They found a very complementary color. This is from the artwork, and then you got some yellow trim on it. I think that's some good flair. That's something that's going to make the cabinet different in your arcade room. So if you're a big Joust fan, this is going to be something that pulls from you. But it does have the Mortal Kombat games on it as well. But it's like, hey, those buttons that were kind of like hiding away, there they are, ready to go on Mortal Kombat. So I think this can work. I think this can work very well. And yeah. Oh, the marquee looks nice. Man, it's a good marquee. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this. The brown, again, it's a very unique cabinet look. The color schemes are unique. It has that midway look. And it's cheaper, right? $449 is what they're putting at. If you're a big Joust fan, you got that front cover artwork. This works. This works really well. Joust on the side. That's cool because you got the Joust on the marquee. You got the picture on the front. Midway. Well, they even got the Midway Classic logo on it. There's a Midway logo on it. When they put anything here? No Williams. No Williams. I think that, like, if who owns Midway again? Is that Warner Brothers? If Warner Brothers still owns the Williams trademark, Like, why couldn't they put the Williams on the front, right? That would be kind of cool. Like, why not? Like, why not? Like, who cares that it's Midway now? But some of the original cabinets, they said Williams, right? Like it has nothing to do with the current branding. Like, why doesn't it say Warner Brothers on the front, right? It's kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where it says Nickelodeon. At least they did it in a finer print. But I'm like, who cares about your new branding, right? Like, if you still own the trademark and the rights for those original titles, like, use them, right? Like, that will be cool. Or would Midway want to reserve that? Or maybe they don't own Williams or something like that. They don't have the legal rights to it. I'm not sure. But anyway, the artwork looks really cool on this one, so it gets me excited. Let's take a look at Dig Dug again. Try not to get brainwashed to buy it. Keep selling myself. All right, where is it at? We got Joust, Dig Dug, Volcano Buttons. I'm excited about that. Bandai Namco. Let's take a look at this one real quick. Yeah. See, they didn't put the Volcano Buttons on this one. Not on the Pac-Mania, but it's on the Dig Dug. It's on the Dig Dug. Wow, that's exciting. It's exciting, folks. Where's my camera? There we go. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me on this quick live stream where we review some of the leaks that are coming out. We'll probably hear an announcement from, I think we're going to get, the question is Wi-Fi leaderboard. Where are we at? Hold on. Jeez. There we go. Wi-Fi leaderboard. So the Bandai Namco, that one is going to be Wi-Fi. 4 leaderboards. We'll expect that for Dig Dug as well, unless there's a $50. I think that's right. Anyone in the chat see that's wrong? Let's go back and take a look at it real quick. Let's see. I mean, like, this one's going to have online play. It's not like they're going to take away the Wi-Fi, right? See, Wi-Fi live mode, right? To compete against opponents remotely playing on their own Arcade1Up machine. So when it comes to the Joust, you'll be able to play competition, against the other people, online play, and we expect the Dig Dug to be just Wi-Fi with leaderboards. Yeah. Bring donuts next time for the stream. All right. Paul, I'll have to do that. We need a Konami Legacy Stringer Films with all this leaking. But I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know if I'll be picking it up. I'm going to try to, I'm kind of in a try to save money mode right now. I am spending a little bit of money. I just bought a Nintendo Switch for around $100. It needs repaired, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to try to do, I've never done a repair on a Nintendo Switch, and I'm going to start doing that. And I've been like hunting on eBay trying to find basically I'm looking for things that are good cosmetically, but need repair because of the electronics. So email me at consolekits@gmail.com if you have any items that fall into that. I would be interested in purchasing them. Video game equipment, whether it's a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, cartridges that just don't play anymore. You tried to clean them up. They just won't play, but the label is good. I think I can repair the electronics on that, and it's a little side hobby that I'm trying to get into. And then maybe I'll cover it on YouTube as well. Nintendo Switch, a broken one. I just bought that. I love the idea. I've done this in the past, but I want to do it again. Soldering is kind of like a therapy session for me. And I want to bring things back to life. Like, I love the idea of taking something that no one has the ability to enjoy anymore and then bring it back to life, and it's like it can be enjoyed again. And honestly, my wife wants another Nintendo Switch so she can get another island on Animal Crossing because she hasn't given that up. So excited about that. Anyway, so trying to save a little bit of money, but Dig Dug is calling me a little bit. It's like, hey, Justin, come over here. That's what Dig Dug sounds like, evidently. Dig Dug sounds like a really bad impression of Zohar doing Michael Jackson. Wolfenose says, fixing old Atari 2600 is fun. In fact, they're 5 tons of metal shielding. There you go. Soldering is a skill I would love to learn next. Dude, yeah, you know what? See, Marvel, you're inspiring me. Like, I could teach you. There's very little to learn, and maybe I'll make some videos on that on some of these repair videos. I was wanting to do like an Arcade1Up PCB repair as well. So if anyone has any Arcade1Up PCBs that you had to get replaced, right? But just the PCB just stopped powering on. That's something that I would love to repair as well. Don't you have a series of how-to videos? I don't have any good ones. I have some that are really old that are like how to install mods that basically don't exist anymore. So they're not very relevant, but the repair videos could be fun because in the process of doing that, you could pick up on some of the techniques I've learned. There's not a lot to learn about soldering. There's just a couple tricks that you kind of need to know about, temperature, flux, and how to apply it, and patience, stuff like that. There you go. There we go. Bill's Retro Show. Want to learn more myself, some potential mods. That's right. If you unlock the power that is already within you, the gap between what you know now and what you need to know to take on some of these mods are actually pretty small. I would love to see a current way to add HDMI to an old NES. I'll send you a NES. Yeah, so the problem is the high-def NES mod, which I do have a few of those, are going for like $800. Like, if you wanted to buy just the mod kit, go on eBay, $800. And then around that price, you can get pre-modded. I think I saw them on eBay for like $600, $700, $800. So it'd be impractical to start showing people like, hey, I'm going to show you how to do this mod that's going to cost you $1,000, right? But yeah, we need to get another one out there. There's a couple companies that, little indie engineering companies that make mods for other consoles. I'm hoping they come back around and come up with a solution for NES, because they could probably price them at around, I'd say $150. $150 for a mod for an old Nintendo, FPGA based. I think so. The guys that made the Xbox HDMI, the price around there, maybe $200 at the most. That would be good. Anyway, guys. So Arcade1Up content. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Excitement. Are you excited about the Dig Dug or the Joust? Like to hear from you down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.